It's a home game today in the village of Fedino. The local football team is out on the pitch fighting to win a district tournament. And their supporters are here to root for them. Vladimir Murashov is the captain of the team. He was born in Fedino and has been playing for the club since he was a teenager. Football is his life, he says.
I'm now 43, but being part of the team makes me feel young. We're like a family, and it doesn't matter if we win or lose a game. I play because it makes me happy.
There's almost always someone out on the pitch in Fedino. Vladimir's son is on the youth team. After the Serafimov church, the football pitch is the main attraction in this village of 2,600 inhabitants. But in Russia, soccer doesn't get enough support, Vladimir feels. He had hoped the World Cup would give local football a boost. For instance, the stadium in the city closest to Fedino is over 50 years old, but the World Cup windfall has passed this area by, much to Vladimir's frustration.
The Voskresensk district needs a modern sports hall. Of course, we'd love to have one here in Fedino, but having one at all would be great. Everything around here is kept up and maintained by the team and the local residents, and the local administration helps us out as much as it can.
Fedino is only 100 kilometers from Moscow, but the World Cup might as well be on another planet. 9 of the international teams have their training bases in the greater Moscow area, and the government has invested almost 22 million euros in facilities to host them. But people here say not much has managed to trickle through to Fedino.
Things are quiet, just like always. There is some construction or renovation going on in some places, but I didn't notice any big boom or building frenzy in the run-up to the World Cup.
They didn't construct an ice rink or a sports hall here for the World Cup. New stadiums or something for the children were built in other places.
No foreigners come here. Maybe that's why nothing's happening here.
The World Cup raises Russia's profile internationally, but the people here in Russia aren't benefiting at all.
The sports minister for the Moscow region disagrees, and he says all the investment in the World Cup is just the first step.
There's been a great deal of progress with the World Cup, a tremendous change. More sports infrastructure was built in the last 5 years in the Moscow region than ever before. Our next task is to completely renovate existing venues and facilities. Some haven't been touched in 30 or 40 years and fallen into disrepair. They have to be renovated so that our children can practice sports in good, safe conditions.
The question is whether there will be money left in Russian coffers. The country has already invested over 9 billion euros to host the World Cup. The capital in particular was spruced up for the international fans so that they can get into the football spirit. Even Fedino is feeling the World Cup fever, especially because some here are combining the game with a trip to the banya, a Russian sauna. The beer is served with dried fish. His national team has seen better times, according to Vladimir. He looks back fondly on the days of the Soviet Union when, he says, football received a lot more state support. Back then, the squad was world-class.
Today, it's all about money. We used to play for the love of the game, for our country, our hometown. Now, in professional football, it's all about the money. In Fedino, we play the way people used to, for ourselves, and we give our all to the game. You don't see that much on TV anymore.
Vladimir wishes there was more support for young talent everywhere in Russia. He's convinced that's the only way to become a World Cup winner.